I swear the Kansas City Chiefs have to know something about players that nobody knows. I mean, just look at their draft history. The Chiefs pulled off a trade early in the season to acquire Giants wide receiver Kadarius Toney. Without anybody realizing it, the Chiefs acquired a very special talent that would be a perfect fit for their system. How did Kadarius Toney go from receiving backlash from his former team to help the Chiefs win the Super Bowl? Kadarius Toney played college football at the University of Florida for the Gators. Toney was a reserve player his freshman, sophomore, and junior season in college. He played wide receiver, running back, quarterback, and was on the special teams roster. His senior season, his production skyrocketed. He led the Gators offense with 70 receptions for 984 yards while scoring 10 touchdowns. In 11 starts as a runner, he put up 19 carries for 161 yards and a touchdown. In 11 punt returns, Toney recorded 139 yards and a touchdown. Kadarius has always played with a unique play style. His ability to play make and read the defense is big on why he was even scouted by the Chiefs. After his senior season in college, Kadarius entered the NFL draft. Toney was ranked 31st in his class and 5th highest ranked wide receiver. Before the draft, there was a lot of mixed feelings about him though. Essentially, you're betting on the flash with Toney and hoping he develops into a consistent super weapon creating yards from across the formation for a creative play caller. His late career production and role, lack of consistency throughout his game, and overall rawness should cause some concerns for a team looking to select him and feed touches to him right out of the gate. One of the players Toney was compared to before being drafted was Tyreek Hill. His quick, agile abilities makes it a reasonable comparison, and is big on why he was even getting looked at by Kansas City. He was consistently critiqued for his inconsistent route running and decision making while in college. Toney is not without his flaws. He must dedicate himself to becoming a better route runner and learn the nuances of being an NFL receiver. Many of the things he accomplished in college was because he was just a way better athlete than the person guarding him. Also, he's guilty of having inconsistent hands and losing focus on some routine catches. Classic running before catching the ball is an example of the unnecessary lapse in concentration he displays at times. But on the other hand, many scouts praised him for his very explosive play style and said he could be a weapon for the right team in the right system. In the 2021 NFL Draft, Kadarius Toney was selected 20th overall pick by the New York Giants. He was drafted behind Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, and Devonta Smith. Toney signed a 4-year deal worth $13.7 million on June 4th, 2021. After drafting Toney, the Giants had many concerns for his health and if he would be injury prone. At the beginning of training camp, Kadarius was put on the team's reserve list for sickness. It was also mentioned that during his time in training camp, he was dealing with a hamstring injury. Now that was the first big concern for Toney. The 2021 season started and Kadarius was off to a slow start, only receiving 4 receptions through the first 3 games. In week 5, Toney had his best game to date. He recorded 189 yards off 10 receptions, breaking Odell Beckham Jr.'s Giants receiving yards record. Toney would then be ejected from the game for throwing a punch at Cowboys safety. Toney would then miss the next 4 games due to an oblique injury. On December 13th, 2021, Toney was placed on reserve for sickness again. Trust issues between Toney and the Giants began to linger. Now that the 2021 season was over, Toney had to keep it pushing and focus on his next professional season. In week 2 of the 2021 season, he would re-injure his hamstring, causing him to miss the next 5 games before being traded. But why would the Giants just let him go so easily, it seemed like? The Giants preferred to sit Toney, even though Toney claimed to be healthy. The Giants front office started to not trust Toney as well. Nobody was trusting anybody. That's not a good environment to be in. The Giants wanted to keep the doors wide open for Toney to be traded. They wouldn't play him because they were worried if he would get re-injured, it would hurt his draft stock. The Giants knew Toney was coming into the team with some baggage, but completely not trusting him seems a little off. On October 27th, 2022, the Chiefs would trade a 3rd and 6th round draft pick for Kadarius Toney. We just saw it was for the best for the team. Wish Kadarius well. That was the decision that we made. We're moving on and getting ready for Seattle. Andy Reid wanted to take a chance despite everything being said about him. Andy Reid and the Chiefs are known for being a developmental program for players. His abilities in college and his brief playtime with the Giants was all Brett Veach needed to see. We have to tip our hats to Veach. That guy knows what he's doing. Toney fit perfectly in the Chiefs wide receiver group, but also his ability to return the ball is a little slept on. In 7 regular season games with the Chiefs, Toney recorded 171 yards for 14 receptions and 2 touchdowns. Andy Reid's schemes fit Toney's play style perfectly. Reid is always known for his trickery on the field. Toney recorded his first NFL touchdown in his first game with the Chiefs. Toney set a Super Bowl record for recording the longest punt return for 65 yards. That was a huge momentum shift for the Chiefs during the Super Bowl. It is safe to say Toney was one of the reasons why they even won the Super Bowl. Toney also recorded a Super Bowl touchdown with the Kansas City Chiefs. A main concern the Giants had with Toney was his attitude. After being traded to the Chiefs, Toney has mentioned numerous times that the city welcomed him with open arms. The trade to the Chiefs appeared to help Toney's mindset, just being in a positive locker room. The trust Andy Reid has for his players is second to none. Reid wants to do what he has to do to win. Reid didn't look at his baggage and his past as a thing to worry about, but wanted to shape him into a better person on and off the field. The Chiefs have him through the 2024 season, and he has a player option in 2025. Kadarius is going to continue to improve alongside the other young talents on the Chiefs roster. My only question for the Chiefs wide receiver room is what's going to happen with McCole Hardman. Toney, McKinnon, and Pacheco all have the speed that the Chiefs love to use. With Hardman's contract expiring, do you think he will leave Kansas City? Toney's unique playstyle alongside the many different playstyles on the Chiefs will be fun to watch over the next few years. Seeing what this team and Andy Reid can come up with is entertaining for all sports fans, unless you dislike the Chiefs. The Chiefs had the most doubters entering this past season, but Brett Veach in the front offense seemed to always be playing their cards right. When Toney was asked about the Giants after winning the Super Bowl, he had this to say.
Is it fair to say you feel more a part of things here already than you ever did with the Giants? Is that a fair thing to say?
I don't want to, I don't want to throw no, I don't want to throw no salt, but kind of, yeah, yeah, a little bit.
Toney has stated numerous times he's thankful for the opportunity the Chiefs have given him. Kadarius Toney will continue to improve and be a problem for any team he is facing.